Fun fact about me, I'm not a big drinker, and the older I get, the more I look for new ways to relax. If you're like me, consider Recess Mood, a healthier alternative to alcohol. Y'all already know self care is essential here, and we are being more intentional with the things we put into our bodies. Recess Mood is a magnesium and adaptogen infused sparkling water with real fruit goodness, only 20 calories and no added sugar. It enhances your mood and helps balance stress for that calm, cool, and collected feeling. And don't even get me started on the flavors, y'all. Strawberry rose, raspberry lemon, grapefruit tangerine, they are all very good, but right now, the raspberry lemon is my absolute fave. So you deserve a healthier way to unwind, and Recess Mood is offering you 15% off. So head to takearecess.com/affirmations and treat yourself to a more relaxed, guilt-free you. And you can also find the link down in the show notes below. Burnout exists because we've made rest a reward rather than a right. We see no days off or overworking as something to glorify or as a badge of honor. But the truth is, life is short, and we should be more mindful of where we are choosing to spend our time.
Powerful. Your things are as powerful. Your things are as powerful as power.
What is going on, beautiful people? You are listening to the Affirmations for Black Girls podcast, where we focus on personal growth and cultivating a healthy relationship with ourselves. I am your host, Tyra the Creative, actress, content creator, and mental health enthusiast. And y'all, we are already in Q2 of 2024. If you are listening to this podcast episode as soon as it goes live, happy April Fool's Day, happy April 1st, happy day one of Q2 of 2024. Oh my gosh, y'all, where has the time gone? Before we jump into this episode, preface, I'm going to be transparent throughout the entire episode, but let me go ahead and be transparent right now. Lately, I have been feeling like I've hit a wall creatively, in my career, and overall in my day to day life. My days started to run together, and I've just been feeling like I've been walking on shaky ground. That's the best way I can explain it. And after sitting down and really reflecting on why I began to feel that way, I realized that it was because I needed to update my routine. So, with that being said, let's go ahead and jump into the affirmation of the week. This week's affirmation is I make space for me. Let's go ahead and drop in, you guys. I make space for me. I really feel that in this moment. I make space for me. I make space for me. I make space for me. What does it feel like to make space for yourself? What does it look like for you? I make space for me. I make space for me. Let's say it one last time together. I make space for me. Y'all, wow. Making space looks a little different for me right now. I've been focusing on making confined spaces of time or blocks of time for me to feel more grounded in my day-to-day life. Working from home can get very monotonous, y'all. I know a lot of us listening to the podcast are still working remotely, and I got into a habit recently of not writing down everything I needed to do, going off of memory, snoozing my alarm, and letting the day take me wherever it wanted me to go. And these actions bled over into other areas of my life. I was recently talking to one of my best friends, and she mentioned that she was tired of watching her life go by, and that one of her main goals for the rest of the year was to become an active participant in her life. And when she said that, I was like, girl, you right. I want to do the same thing. So, what does being an active participant in my own life look like? It looks like showing up for me, keeping promises to myself, advocating for Tyra, and planting seeds and cultivating the land that is my life now so future Tyra can thank me later. And disclaimer, I know we talk about scheduling and creating systems and all of that stuff on the podcast all the time. And I even have an episode about finding comfort in a schedule that I posted when I first started the podcast. But sometimes, especially when life really starts life and that schedule can fall to the wayside. And transparently speaking, that's where I've currently been. And that's okay too.
Hey, you're on my mind, you know.
I used to be very big on having a physical planner. I'd write out everything I needed to do, down to scheduled breaks, and I got burnt out of it. The task became the calendar. I'd even write out my monthly goals, and when I wouldn't meet them, I'd subconsciously start to beat myself up. So I started setting a routine on my Alexa, but as the routine would start each day, because I set it for a time frame versus me actually starting the routine, I slowly found myself saying, Alexa, stop, a lot more often. It's okay to fall out of your schedule, y'all. It's okay to pivot. It's okay to throw the entire planner away. But what's not okay is staying in that space forever. I would say I gave myself a good 2 months of flying by the seat of my pants every day. I realized that I was burnt out from my current schedule. I'd have back to back meetings, work from 8 a.m. through 6 p.m., sometimes forgetting to eat a meal. And that led to me not following anything on my schedule anymore because my brain wanted deep rest. And after being in that space of seat of my pants flying for those 2 months, I realized that my body would begin to tell me when it was time for more structure. And as I'm saying that, can we just take a moment to first notice how dope the body is? Our bodies will always tell us what we need more of or when we have too much of something, even when our brains can't get that message to us through words. That's dope. But, anyways, since I work from home and have almost complete control over my daily schedule, it became so easy for me to say, oh, I'll do it at some point today versus setting a time. And once my meetings started to pick back up at work or in my personal life, because you guys know I have a full time job and I'm also a full time creator podcaster, the lack of structure in my day to day really started to get to me. I was getting less done in a day or working from sun up to sundown on one thing, and I felt flustered, unaccomplished, or overworked by the time it was time for me to go to bed. Or sometimes I would fall asleep at my desk or on my couch and wouldn't even make it to my bed because I've been working all day. Then this began to make me feel stressed until I finally said, come on, Tyra, you know how to make a schedule that works for you. So, what is going on? So, I had to sit with myself. And I realized that I no longer knew what was important to me. So, I sat with that rest, my health, creating, learning new things, and fellowship. Those were the things that came to my mind when I asked myself, what things are important to me at this moment? And with that knowledge, I started to redefine what my schedule would look like with the thought in my head that this thing is just a guideline and that I don't have to be working from 9 a.m. to 9 p.m. to feel accomplished. Today is April 1st. It's spring and it's time to be outside, y'all. In January, we talked about adding more hobbies to your list. So, what things outdoors can you add? April is also Earth Month. So, this spring and summer season, I personally want to spend more time outside and I want to learn how to golf. I actually have a friend from my boxing gym, y'all. She golfs and she absolutely loves it. She's learning how to golf. She's taking a class on golfing. Um I have learned that having activities like this that have nothing to do with my career keep me sane and help me to meet new people. Now, like I said, you guys already know that I box, but I've recently made the decision to start boxing a little less. I was going 6 days a week, and that would be before my actual workday started. So I was going at 7 a.m. and then I would start my workday literally. So, gym 7 to 8, come home, hurry up and take a shower, start working at 9, and I would work literally until like 9 p.m. So, I really think that's why I was getting burnt out. So, the first thing to go was my boxing time. I then started going boxing in the middle of the day during lunch. So I would skip lunch. And it just wasn't really working. Just to give you guys a little more perspective on why my schedule wasn't working or why I was feeling overworked and unaccomplished and flustered and stressed out and all the things. But I decided that I want to dial it back from 6 days a week going to boxing down to 4 to 5, give or take, to give me some time to breathe and break up the monotony of going every day. I also realized that I started to feel a bit frazzled when I would miss a day going to the gym at a time that I'm normally there. Like, for example, if I was there at 7 a.m., like I just said, and I couldn't make it, or, I stayed up too late because I was working on something and I didn't go at that time, I would start to beat myself up subconsciously about it. So instead of dedicating 85% of my week to boxing, I will fill some of that time with other activities like golf that I want to, dabble in golf, tennis, kickball. And I'm super excited about that. One of my other ongoing activities is pottery. You guys know I have a membership at a pottery studio, and I would typically do pottery once a week. And the time that I would normally go there no longer works for me. So I've been trying to find another place in the week for it. But I think if I begin to think about my pottery schedule in a different way, maybe instead of saying I'm going to go once a week, maybe just saying I'm going to go 3 to 4 times, 3 to 4 days out of the month, my brain may be able to process that a little better or a little differently. And I wouldn't feel like I failed or missed out by missing 1 2 hour block on a Friday morning. I would literally wake up and say, dang, I can't go to get today. Let's try again next week. Versus me saying, okay, dang, I can't go at 10 to 12 today. Let's see where else I can fit that in my schedule, maybe tomorrow or the next day. The biggest thing that I'm working on right now, and y'all, this whole episode is literally me putting my thoughts on paper, saying them to y'all, and working on it myself. I've realized, and I'm about to go off on a little tangent, but I've realized that sometimes when I be giving y'all rerun episodes, it's mainly because I really want to give you content that of things that I have already worked through. And when you're creating a podcast on a week to week basis, that cannot always be the case. And that even goes back to what I was just saying about me going to pottery. If I would say, dang, I can't go today at 10 a.m., let's try again next week. I started to feel that way about the podcast too. I started to say, well, dang, I haven't overcome anything this week. What am I going to talk about? I'm going to just give them a rewind episode instead of sharing what I'm currently dealing with. And I'm learning to be more transparent, and I'm learning to share where I'm at so you guys, so I can meet y'all where y'all are at, and y'all can also meet me where I'm at, because I'm not perfect and I'm not a medical professional. I'm not a coach. I'm not none of that stuff. I'm just a girl who got a podcast who loves to create a safe space for people who are dealing with things that I'm also dealing with, to relate to just have a space to retreat to. And even though I know that that's what Affirmations for Black Girls is at the core of the entire thing, sometimes I'm just like, dang, I feel like I'm not giving you value. And what I mean by that is when I have a week where I'm like, oh, I haven't overcome anything, or I haven't accomplished a goal, or learned anything, anything profound, I feel like those times just sharing where I am in life is not providing value. And I need to stop thinking about it in that way. But yes, literally that is what I'm trying to work on, thinking about things in a different way. So pottery, dang, I can't go at 10 a.m. It's okay. I'm gonna try to go the next day. When it comes to my podcast, I'm meeting y'all where you at, and I pray that y'all meet me where I'm at as well. Now back off my tangent. I'm sorry for the tangent, y'all. Anyways, like I was saying, the biggest thing that I'm working on right now when it comes to adding things to my plate, or just, adding other activities to my plate, or my schedule, is to make sure that I'm not committing to something weekly, or I'm not committing to everything on a weekly basis, but instead adopting a more fluid schedule. One thing I did this week actually is sit a notebook by my bed. I've been saying I was going to do that for literal months. I'm like, oh shoot, I need to put a notebook by my bed so I can write down all my thoughts and all of this, and not grab my phone and put it in those notes, because I literally never go back to them. But I put a notebook by my bed to write down all of my to-dos that I need to accomplish at some point, basically doing a mini brain dump before I go to bed. And we've talked about brain dumps on the podcast before, but basically, a brain dump in general is when you literally take a piece of paper that you're going to throw away, and you write out every thought that comes to your head, every thought that's been circulating in your head, just to practice the idea of getting that thought out onto paper and then releasing it. Because I think sometimes what we do is we keep all of our to-do list in our head, or we keep all the important things in our head, because it's like, oh, I have to remember that. I have to remember that. And what that does is take up space in your take up space in your brain. And as you're remembering that same thing over and over and over, you're tiring yourself out for the day. I'll go through a day and say, okay, I have to go drop off some clothes at the cleaners. I will literally say, oh shoot, I got to drop off clothes 6 times in that day. And that's wasted energy when I could have just put it on the to-do list, got it out of my brain, and then referred to my to-do list when I was ready to do one of the things on it. So that's basically what a brain dump is. But once I have, done a mini brain dump and removed all of these to dos from my head and then put them on paper, my mind is quieter. And now that to do list is, I have the pieces to fit into the puzzle that is my schedule for the week. Okay, I got to take some clothes to the cleaners. Okay, I need to go to the chiropractor. Which day of the week can I put that in? Now, I know you may be thinking, okay, Tyra, just set times for things and get a weekly routine. It's not that hard. My schedule don't work like that, y'all. I have commitments that come up last minute, like auditions. I'm an actress first. That's what I'm here in LA to do. I have webinars. I also have a full time job where my coworkers can put a meeting on my schedule at any time. And also, as a full time creative, I also have meetings with brands or clients, and all of that stuff that go on my schedule at any given time, or whatever time is available on my calendar or whatever. But when that happens, I thankfully have the flexibility to move just about everything else around. And that's what's so daunting for me in this moment in my life, being able to literally do everything at any time. Sometimes having that extreme freedom with my schedule is a double-edged sword, and for the past couple of months, let's just say the sword has been poking me in the stomach. If you're going through menopause, perimenopause, or you just can't seem to find comfort in your body anymore, then it's time to try Hormone Harmony. Created by Happy Mammoth, this science backed solution has become a phenomenon. With adaptogens to help your body adapt to hormonal changes, Hormone Harmony tackles hot flashes and night sweats, racing thoughts, low moods, poor sleep, occasional bloating and gas, no desire to be in bed next to someone, if you know what I mean, and other things. Plus, with over 17,000 reviews mentioning feeling like myself again, it's a game changer. Get 15% off your first order at happymammoth.com with code AFFIRMATIONS. Don't let menopause or hormonal changes hold you back. Try Hormone Harmony today. Growing up, Black voices in media, though hard to come by, were my compass. Here at AFBG, Black representation is the very heartbeat of what we do. Representation isn't just about visibility, it's about carving out a space where Black stories can thrive and resonate. From pioneers like Oprah Winfrey breaking barriers on TV to amazing women like Viola Davis, Octavia Spencer, and Taraji P. Henson, who showed me that Black girls can command the screen. These Black faces and voices have been a guiding light in my life, not only by entertaining me, but also educating me and empowering me. And now, NPR brings you the next generation of influential Black voices in their new collection, Black Stories, Black Truths. Every episode is a living account about what it means to be Black today, each told from a unique Black perspective that is as nuanced as the Black experience itself. From Bobby Shmurda to The Wire, Michelle Obama to reparations, there's no limit to the range of Black stories, Black truths. I recently listened to the episode titled For Black Men, Barriers to Mental Health Care Can Be Complex, and I love how the host seemed to create a safe space for discussing these complex barriers Black men face when accessing mental health care. It was very refreshing to hear the classic NPR vibe, but with a soulful twist. Black perspectives haven't always been centered in America's story, but now they are the story because stories should never be about us without us. Listen now to Black Stories, Black Truths from NPR, wherever you get your podcasts. ADHD, a four-letter acronym that stands for Attention Deficit Hyperactivity Disorder. Across our society and throughout modern history, it has also come to represent harmful stereotypes, debilitating assumptions, and unconscious bias. If you have ADHD, it can be overwhelming to find the right treatment. That's where Done comes in. Take a free 1-minute assessment and book an appointment with a licensed ADHD clinician as soon as the next day. Get continuous care, insurance coverage, and 24/7 care team support with Done for just $79 a month and pharmacy copays as low as $0. Unlock your path to better focus now at get.donefirst.com/podcast. Done. Turn ADHD into your strength. Isaiah chapter 60 and verse 22 says, At the right time, I, the Lord, will make it happen. Y'all, his timing is perfect. And I'm also talking to myself. Tyra, his timing is perfect. This is something that I have to tell myself constantly. So, you guys know I'm here in Los Angeles for acting, but right now my acting career has seemingly taken a halt. I haven't booked anything in a long time, and I instead focus my attention on what is in my control, i.e., my podcast, my YouTube channel, my content, all of that. But in these times when I am feeling lost in my day to day life and not living based on a schedule, I then say to myself, well, what am I doing all this for anyway? I'm here to act and I'm not acting. But I have to rest in the Lord. I have to rest in the fact that his divine timing will always reign supreme. And how do I know I'm only here for acting anyway? How do I know that that is what I should be focused on in the moment, not having any acting things lined up versus, pouring into my podcast, talking to you guys on a weekly basis, and whatever else is going on in my life, activities, fellowship, all of the things. So, in this season that I'm in, which is Q2 of 2024, a season of stillness in my acting career, I'm learning how to be a better steward of my time. God has graciously given me flexibility with my time, and that's something to be grateful for, and also something not to waste. I don't know when the end of this time of overwhelming flexibility will change. So I think it's in my best interest to make the most of it while knowing that God is with me. And when the time is right, things will start to shift, things will start to happen. Now, I've given this analogy on the podcast before. But to those of you who may be thinking, well, if everything happens when God says so, then what's the point of me doing anything at all instead of just waiting around? I firmly believe that God is looking for us to be active participants in our lives, meaning taking care of our responsibilities, advocating for ourselves, being good stewards of our time, and all of that. So think about a motion activated door, like at a store. In order for that door to open, you have to walk towards it, right? Well, you can't just be walking towards it from, your car all the way in the parking lot or a mile away and it just see you all the way down there and it open for you. You have to be almost right up on it. And it will open for you to walk through because it sees you coming. It sees you in a certain proximity. Now, think about walking through that door like that, and then you see another one on the other side. And as soon as you make that step through that last door, the next one opens. And you go through that one, and there's another one that does the same thing. That's how I think of God. Sometimes I think, anyways, and I'm not trying to push anything on you guys, but sometimes I think he's only waiting for you to take that one step in the right direction, in the right proximity of the door for him to open it, and he got the rest. And that's what I think being an active participant in my life looks like. And a month ago, y'all, I was just letting life happen. But I have a renewed determination to be active in my own life and redefine my day to day schedule to work for me and in the season of life that I am in right now. And I invite you to do the same. Now, and I wasn't going to talk about this, but literally it just came into my mind. So today was Easter. I'm literally filming this Sunday. So today is Easter. Happy Resurrection Sunday. He is risen, okay? And the message at church, or a piece of the message at church, our pastor gave us an analogy about a seed. And when you put a seed into soil, the seed is seemingly dormant for a while before it starts to sprout above the ground, before we're able to see from above the ground. But if you're looking at a seed from underneath, you see that it is going to grow its roots first before it starts to shoot up into the sky. And when he was given this analogy, he was saying how sometimes our stillness, we feel like nothing is going on. And really what's happening is we're being rooted. Our roots are growing strong before we shoot up into the sky, shoot up into our purpose. He even gave the example of when we are still, that's really where a lot of us want to live. When before our roots grow as a seed, before our roots grow, we want to live in that, so quote unquote, peace of just being still. But if we live there, we have no purpose, because a seed, a sorry, y'all, a piece of grain's purpose is to feed someone, right? And if it remains a seed, then it is not going to ever be able to live out its purpose. A lot of times we get comfortable with being in that still state of being just a seed. And what we really need to do is lean all the way into it and realize that at one point we're going to grow. We're going to grow down deep down first our roots, and then we're going to shoot up above the sky, but the above the ground. But the thing that we need to remember is that there has to be a disruption that takes place. And that disruption can look a lot of different ways. It can be adversity, it can be obstacles, it can be trials and tribulations in your life. And I feel like that's where I'm at right now. I'm in that still portion, and I'm waiting for a little disruption to happen. And I think that disruption is starting, and it has started with me becoming uncomfortable because, like I said, that stillness is that comfort, our comfort zone. And I think so. Lately I've been feeling very uncomfortable with where I am in my life, and I think that's what that disruption is. I think my roots have grown, and I think that I'm about to start sprouting above the ground. So I just wanted to share that as well. But like I said, I have a renewed determination to be active in my own life and be confident in God's perfect timing. And I invite you guys to do the same with me. I needed a bit of disruption from the monotony of my daily schedule. And in that disruption, I learned a little more about what I needed in this current season of my life. Your schedule and routine may not always work for you as it is. Schedules are meant to be guidelines, lists that keep you going and aid you in making the most out of each and every day. And that can look different for everyone. Once I started writing out my resting time, chiropractic appointments, gym time, lunch, and my daily walk with one of my friends, that's when I was better able to balance my work schedule. We can sometimes think, okay, let's overload our schedule and work all day. Or maybe we think, well, my schedule is wide open. I know I have things to do, but they'll get in where they fit in. And that is a very easy way for people like me to overcommit to everyone and everything. If you're in a situation like me where you have a lot of flexibility with your schedule or you're just in a rut with your current routine, don't be afraid to go back to the drawing board. As life progresses, we will always need to implement new things to make our day to day work better for us, and that's okay. Life is all about making space for you. Uh-oh, you guys, you know what time it is. It is time for our fun closing segment. And today, you guys, we are doing one of our most popular closing segments, recommendation of the day. Yay, yay. So, with that being said, the first thing I want to say, I was talking to a friend a while ago, and I was just telling her how when I was telling y'all about those Oreo ice cream cones, y'all showed up and showed out. So many of y'all tagged me on Instagram trying those ice cream cones from Target. If you missed that episode, I don't even know how many times I talked about it, but I think I talked about it like a couple in a couple of different episodes. But if you missed it, there are these delicious Oreo cones, and this is not my recommendation, by the way, but there are these delicious Oreo cones at Target with Oreo ice cream, and then they are covered in chocolate, and it's a chocolate waffle cone. So good. If you see them, try them. So good. But anyways, I said all that to say, I love giving you food recommendations. A lot of you guys know this, but not everybody does. I am a pastry chef, and food is a huge part of my life. This podcast is just an extension of who I am. And one of my overall creative goals is to meld all of my verticals or all of my extensions, all of my platforms together in some way. And that's going to always be through food and experience in that way. So, with all that being said, Today's recommendation of the day is, oh my gosh, y'all, my mouth is already watering. It is Nerdy Nuts. Now, I was on TikTok a while ago, like maybe a month ago, and I saw these people trying all of these gourmet peanut butter flavors. And just from that one video, y'all, I bought 3 jars. It was so good. They were just like, I don't even remember what flavors they tried because the Nerdy Nuts is small batches, small owned company, and they have unique flavors and they always switch them out, right? So I remember they had, oh, one of them they had was like a banana pudding bread, banana, Jesus, banana pudding peanut butter. And it looked divine. It had bananas in it. It had some type of either icing or something like that in there, and also the peanut butter. Y'all, this Nerdy Nuts has me in a chokehold. So I looked on the website and I was like, okay, let me see what this is about. And I got the king cake flavor. Cause y'all know I'm from Louisiana, and it was around. Oh yeah, it was around Mardi Gras. That's what it was. Yeah, so there was around Mardi Gras, and which is in late February. And I was like, I have to get something that makes me feel like I'm at home. So I got the king cake one. I got actually let me go and get them right quick. Okay. So I'm going to tell y'all what is in each one. So the king cake, which I probably got like one spoonful left in this. White chocolate peanut butter, cinnamon vanilla sauce, cream cheese frosting, cinnamon bun bites and sprinkles. Y'all, when I tasted this, and I posted this one on my TikTok, when I tasted this, I could have done a somersault into a backflip, into a split, and then did the heel toe all the way to Mars. It is so freaking good. Like, I wish I could give y'all a spoonful. It is so good. I love the white chocolate peanut butter in there. I also got Waffly Ever After, and it came with vanilla peanut butter, a strawberry banana sauce, chocolate hazelnut spread, dry strawberries, and waffle cone bits. The best thing about this one is that the waffle cone bits were not stale when I got it. You know, like when you get something that got like crunchy stuff in it, sometimes if it has like stuff with moisture, because it does have a sauce, but the sauce is at the bottom, by the way, it can like soak up that moisture and then just be like chewy versus crunchy. That is not this. It was so crunchy and good, and the dry strawberries definitely take it to the next level. The strawberry banana sauce is not my favorite, but it's also not nasty because once I mixed it all together, it just gave a nice light banana flavor. But anyways, this one is called Waffly Ever After, and the containers are huge. They are 16-ounce containers. They made by hand. They made in the United States. Y'all, they good, okay? And if you go check on their website right now, I'm sorry if they don't have the flavors that I got. But the last one that I got, oh gosh, Jesus. Caramel apple blondie. Y'all, it got little pieces of dried Granny Smith apple in this one. Oh my gosh, I could just pick them all out and just eat them. Cinnamon white chocolate peanut butter. Okay, pause there. Cinnamon white chocolate peanut butter, caramel sauce, vanilla frosting, dried apples, and sugar cookie. Y'all, like I have never had peanut butter like this. Now, these are definitely peanut butter treats, but I just eat about a spoonful. You can put it on other things if you want to. I think it would even be dope to use in a peanut butter and jelly sandwich, like depending on which one you got. Like I would probably do the king cake one. I would use that one for like a peanut butter and jelly sandwich if I wanted it. Them cinnamon bun bites are so freaking good. But yeah, they just taste like high quality ingredients. I think they're like, I don't even want to lie to y'all. They probably like $16 a jar or something like that. But I think they're worth it. They do last a long time. You don't have to put them in the refrigerator. Ooh, my mouth is watering. Anyways, if you want to try Nerdy Nuts, I do have a code for y'all to get 10% off. And I wish I would have had 10% off when I did it. But since I've bought from them before, I do have a code. And this is not sponsored or anything, but they gave me a 10% off code. When you go to the website, it's literally nerdynuts.com. You can type in Tyra at your checkout in the coupon code area, and it'll give you 10% off. Or you can click the link down in the show notes. It's like a long link. But anyways, the easiest way to do it is go to the website nerdynuts.com, check out all their flavors, and then whenever you're ready to buy, type in Tyra. But let me know what flavors y'all get. I will honestly say my favorite flavor is the king cake. I'm not sure if they still have it on the website, but this one is literally y'all, this one is empty. I am so weak at myself for eating all this peanut butter, but I don't care. Okay. Oh, Jesus, I just opened it and it smells so good. Okay, I could talk about peanut butter all day. Well, I can talk about food all day. Anyways, whenever you buy some, tag me on Instagram. Let me know how you like the flavors that you got. I remember I was buying this. I was in the store with one of my friends and I was just telling her how excited I was. And she was like, dang, girl, I'm about to go buy me a flavor too. So she actually went and she also got the king cake one as well, since that one was like, it was around Mardi Gras time when I was buying this. So I was super excited. But anyways, you guys, thank you guys so much for listening to this episode, this transparent episode. Yeah, y'all, I'm just like y'all. I'm trying to figure out life. We're all trying to navigate life the best way we can. And I'm turning 30 this year. I feel like that probably has something to do with why I'm feeling all crazy like this. But I'm honoring my journey and I'm honoring where I'm at. And I'm just excited to be here. So thank you guys so much for listening. That is all that I have for you today. Make sure you join us again next week. Actually, we have a Pep Talk Wednesday episode that also needs to come out this week. But make sure you subscribe to the podcast if you haven't already. Rate us and leave us a review. I love reading them all. You guys are so freaking sweet. Thank you so much. And follow us on Instagram at Affirmations for Black Girls, on Twitter at AFBG_podcast, on YouTube at Affirmations for Black Girls, and on Threads at Affirmations for Black Girls. Once again, thank y'all so much, and thank y'all for rocking with me, for real. Happy Q2, happy April Fool's Day, and I will see y'all again next time. This is Affirmations for Black Girls.